Hey guys, welcome back to the another episode of Journey with Pushpak podcast. So today we have with us Dharam. Hey man, what's up?
Hi Pushpak, hi, how are you? I'm good.
I'm good, man. I heard there's a high alert in Bombay, man. How's the situation over there?
It's quite serious actually. The cases
Oh,
are still rising, plus the rains are heavy, so we can't get out. We have to stay in. There's nothing to do already 3 months in. So, yeah, people are quite scared now. The fear is really high.
mm-hmm.
Plus, uh, there's no option because it's already 3 months and people have to start working also, right? No, but
Right,
not everyone has an option to stay home, stay in, and not do anything. So that way also it's a problem because people have to go out.
right.
There's helplessness. So yeah, the environment overall is very scary. It's depressing as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your
Damn,
mind's blocked, you don't know what to do, so
straight,
the
bro.
productivity levels go down. So it really, one has to be really tough in these situations. The mindset has to be really hard. Only then you
Right.
can survive. Because I personally have been feeling the same in the last three
Mm-hmm.
months. Like the first couple of months were okay because this was something new, right? You had to stay in and the lockdown was there,
Right,
so it was fine then. But now it's not really the same. So
right. When it
uh,
started, we were hoping, yeah, हो जाएगा, ठीक हो जाएगा, like it just a couple of months. But now it's
correct.
continuously going, and we don't know
So
कि,
now it gets to you. Now it actually gets to you. It's
yeah.
actually stressing also um, because I personally believe that there has to be a balance. So I know that if your mindset is really tough, you get
Mm-hmm.
done you get things done irrespective of the place you are in. So if you have to work
Right,
out of an
right,
office,
right.
you work out of a home. So it's okay. People can do that, but your mindset has to be really tough. But if you don't have such a mindset, I think I personally don't have it, and that got tested in the last 3 months. And what I
Okay.
feel is that there has to be a balance of sorts. So like even though I don't if I go out and I'm just chilling, I don't do
Mm.
anything productive, but that part, that going out doing different things is important in order to come back and do productive stuff.
Right.
So that's what I feel, and that's why I have not been actually reading or even working out of my place, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things which I used to do, I've not been able to do all of those things. So I feel that the productivity levels have really gone down.
Yeah, and there's a mental stress, and people are dealing with mental health issues a lot since the lockdown has started.
Definitely.
So there's a big
Definitely.
challenge. So,
Correct.
so
Yeah,
you
that's also
said
true.
you struggle in this, and so how did you manage to tackle itself? Like, how did you overcome it?
Actually, I personally am not doing anything which I wanted to do. So when I say I'm struggling with it, I mean that I don't know what to do firstly, and it's for me genuinely it's becoming harder to do the normal things as well,
Okay.
because there's a blockage now. There's a very huge blockage, and I feel that somebody stabbed me, somebody's not allowed. I just feel helpless, and
Mm-hmm.
even though there's a lot of time to do different things, experiment, learn, I'm not
Right,
being able
right.
to do any of those things, to be very honest with you. I had planned to read as much as I can because trust me,
Mm-hmm.
I just graduated 2 months ago and I had a lot of time to do things.
Right,
I had a
right,
lot of
right.
time to find jobs, but I'm just not feeling like to work. I have a family business where there's a lot of things happening, and there is help needed, there is contribution needed, but I'm not really
Mm-hmm.
being able to focus on that as well. I just don't feel like to get up and even switch on something. That's what I'm feeling in the last 1-2 months. So yeah, so that way I'm struggling. But I personally love watching a lot of films, and not just films, but I love the back end of it. The how things work in the back end, how these processes work,
Okay.
how
Which film
films
are
are
you
being made.
watching?
So I watch a lot of films, different films, depends. And recently I've been watching, the last one I watched which was interesting was, mm,
I'm watching Net House of Cards, man, on Netflix these days.
yeah, I don't know, I somehow wasn't really attracted to that one, and
Okay.
that genre doesn't interest me a lot. I've been
Mm-hmm.
switching to comedy a lot. I've been watching, I watched We Are the Millers. I am a huge fan of thrillers, man. I watched The Invitation last night.
Mm-hmm.
There was this movie which goes by the name Case 39, which is also a thriller, 2009 movie. So I watched that one. I watched The Invitation. I watched many thrillers. I don't really remember. I'm not able to recollect. But mainly what I watch is thrillers and yeah, stuff like that.
But it's good to
So
watch comedy,
yeah, I
It's less
also correct.
depressing,
Yeah,
when you watch comedy.
yeah, thrillers are really depressing, but I am
Yeah.
somehow very attracted to thrillers. And I also watch a lot of crime series, so I just love how the investigation happens. So one really amazing TV series which I watched, which was regarding crime investigation, but how the police actually investigates the case and interrogates the suspect. Okay, so I'm interviewing you. So there was this series which goes by the name um, criminal criminal, and
Okay. Is it on
it
Netflix?
basically has 4 parts. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Criminal UK, Criminal France, Criminal Germany, and
Mm,
Criminal Spain. And all of these, each this part has 3 episodes, and it's just shot in one room, only one room, where the police is
damn.
interviewing the suspect,
Mm-hmm.
and you understand how they read their body language, how they manipulate the suspect into confessing stuff which they don't
Mm-hmm.
want to say, and they have the right at that point to not say anything. So if I am interviewing right now, you are a suspect, you're not
Mm-hmm.
so I can't ask you that you don't have to be mandatorily saying stuff. If you don't want to comment, you can say no comment. And in such a situation where people are not saying anything, letting things out, how the police actually interviews them in a way where they psychologically manipulate them, emotionally manipulate them, and halfway through the episode they start talking. It's really fun. So it helps you with the psychology of interrogation and stuff, what actually goes behind. So I watched that.
Yeah.
I watched all 4 parts,
So
Criminal.
that's why you're very
And yeah,
passionate
so I
about
watched.
psychology. Is it related to something like that? So
Yeah. I actually, yeah, I love, that's human psychology. And human psychology interests me because whatever I've read till now, I've understood that whatever you do in life, irrespective of the field, whether you go into sales, whether you go into marketing, whether you're into science, whatever you do,
hmm,
you actually, when you excel at something, you basically excel at humans, at understanding humans.
right.
So whatever I do, if I'm good at that, it means that at some part in my experience, I've excelled at understanding humans
In that particular field.
in that particular field. But the point is that when you go up the ladder and when you're at the top, you
Hmm.
only are able to reach at the top because you understood humans as such. Because the interaction, your day-to-day livelihood, the things you do in your work, whatever you do, there's a lot of interpersonal development. There's a lot of interpersonal relations, and that's something which sounds very easy and mainstream. But when you go out there and work in a team, when you go out there and work under somebody, when you got other team members at your workplace, that's when you
Hmm.
realize that it's really tough to lead. It's very tough to work under situations like that. So whatever you do, basically you excel at humans, and if you understand humans properly, then you can get
So
it's
that is
easier to
what
get there.
psychology is, right? Human, like to understand humans properly or understanding their minds, right?
Yes, so that's what I read. That's what I understood, that humans, understanding humans, it's very important. And through college, I had a couple of subjects about consumer behavior, and I started getting more inclination towards that.
Hmm.
Understanding humans, understanding the behavior of consumers, how it changes. And then I started reading more. I read books on body language. I did one course on body language for entrepreneurs. Then I read this book which goes by the name How to Read a Person Like a Book. So it has different gestures which you can
Oh.
understand at different places. So if you're sitting in the airport and you got thousands of people around you, you can literally observe them, and just by their body
Hmm.
gestures, you can understand their facial expressions. You can actually understand what they are going through, or what they are going to about to say or do, or what they are feeling. Not
Hmm.
precisely, but so that when I did all of those things at a very fundamental, basic level, I understood that this is really interesting. That's one part that I found. That's one side that I really found it interesting. And the second thing is that it's, even though you have to be good at this,
Yeah.
because if you
Can
if
you
you
can you
understand
tell me
humans, you
something about me by looking at me right now?
um not really. I think I'll have to see. So what I can right now see is all your facial expressions, and
Right.
if your facial expressions are, if I have to study that, I have to be good at micro expressions. So if there's, so
Hmm.
I have this series, Lie to Me. This is one series which is, again, I don't think it's on Netflix, but it's basically completely on micro facial expressions.
Okay.
So so how our cheek reacts when there's something funny, how our eyes crumble when there's something serious. These are the things which people observe in that series. It's also crime investigation, and there's one a department which basically completely breaks down the case only through micro expressions of the suspect. So it's really interesting to watch, and you understand a lot. You can study micro expressions. So when I watched a couple of series, when I read all of those books, I understood that I'm really interested in this, and I have to get deeper into that. Even though right now, whatever I've read about human psychology is just on a surface level, you can say. I have not gotten deep into that. There's a lot more to understand. Whatever I know is about only on a very surface level. Just how human nature is, just how we tend to react, our cognitive biases, psychological biases. That's what I'm trying to read and get deeper into now. There's one more book which I read about human psychology, which is the 12 Rules for Life.
Jordan Peterson, right?
Jordan Peterson. So I've been watching his videos also, but this is on surface level. But overall, I understood that and for anybody who's listening or watching, I think understanding humans, the sooner you start going into that, the better it is for you. And you might say that, no, I'm not into a sales job or a marketing job, but whatever you do personally, and it's not just professionally, there's a lot of advantages to persuasion, to sell, because you might think that you're selling only to your customers, but the reality is that
I personally believe that everyone is selling. Everyone is a salesman. Everyone is selling something to someone.
Exactly.
Basically.
For instance, if I'm going out with a movie for you, with you, and I have another option, you have another option in mind, you want me to go for a different movie, and I want a different movie to be watched, I can definitely sell you, right? That's how friends sell each other. If you are convincing a girl for a date, you have to sell, you have to persuade. So all of this is really, really important and applicable in very different, varied aspects of life. So really important, man. And you can start with the basic stuff: body language, why humans are, how they are, the decisions they take, why do they take such decisions.
Eventually, when you start doing things, like when you actually start talking to people or convincing them, then you really understand things. It's
correct.
Even though, like, you can read a lot of books, you can get a lot of courses, but until and unless you do something, then only you get the real experience.
Definitely.
That's what I believe.
I'm a huge believer of that. I think that only talking, only consuming knowledge, only doing courses, only watching videos is a trap. It's a consumption trap. It's a loop where you just keep doing more and more and more of that, and that's bound to not stop. It's endless because of social media. Everybody on social media, you might think they're giving you knowledge, they're giving you a lot of value, but the truth is everybody's doing a business. And I'm not saying that I'm against doing courses. I'm not saying that there are wrong people out there. What I'm trying to say is that they are going to do the business. They are going to sell you. But you've had your dads, your moms, your granddads who've done and built stuff for sure. I'm sure you might have people around you like that. They did not have any mentors. They did not have any coaches. They did not have any courses, but they still did, right? What did they do? Pure, imperfect action and execution through trial and error. They started, they failed, they asked people, they asked for help, they again started. And we have a lot of convenience today. We might not have to fail so many times as they did. But so what I'm trying to say is that you cannot replace execution. You cannot replace action. And what action teaches you, no course or no education or no video can teach you that.
Some people are addicted to hustle porn also. Have you heard about this term, hustle porn? Like, you don't want to do anything, but just want to watch motivational videos, and people are like.
Yeah, so honestly, it's because of social media only. Honestly, it's because of that. And I won't blame anybody, but it's because of our consumption, right? We are spending so much time, so many hours, you can say, in a day on our phones. And if every single person's attention is on the phone, on the digital space, there are going to businesses and products, they are going to pop up every single day, right? You're going to see different podcasts and different channels and different courses coming up because people want knowledge. अभी सबको सोशल मीडिया से न्यूज़ मिलता है, अभी सबको सोशल मीडिया से नॉलेज मिलता है, इंस्पिरेशन मिलता है, मोटिवेशन मिलता है, एंटरटेनमेंट मिलता है, एजुकेशन मिलता है, सब मिलता है. So when every single person is increasing attention every single day on social media, on digital, then they are going to be products. But that's when the most underrated skill in the coming years, which I feel will be to find breakthrough knowledge. Breakthrough meaning timeless knowledge, which is going to be applicable on every field, every person, every aspect in life, whatever they are doing. ऐसा knowledge which is breakthrough, which is timeless. इसका time का कोई bound नहीं है वो. To find that knowledge
Right.
in the limited time we have in our day-to-day lives,
Right.
and in the world of clutter, in the world of information overload, where every single day there is going to be junk content on your phone. YouTube खोलोगे, junk content मिलेगा. It's attractive thumbnails, attractive headlines, blog posts. How do you not spend your time on these articles and these waste YouTube videos, which is just going to, you know, motivate you or inspire you or going to give you shit knowledge, which you can otherwise also find. How to avoid these content pieces and instant find content pieces which are so timeless, which are so breakthrough that they are applicable everywhere. And plus you only have limited time.
Right.
So when there is so much information outside, किधर भी चलो, कोई भी ऐप खोलो, सब जगह ad है, सब जगह content है, आपको पता कैसे चलेगा which blog to read, which tool to use, which website to follow, which person to follow, which videos to watch, which course you should do. Because if you look it up, if you look I want to do a course on human psychology. Let's say I write human psychology courses. They're going to be thousands and thousands of courses. And every single course will be genuine for you. You'll be like, "Arey, ye bhi hai, sab sahi lag raha hai, karu kaun sa?" And that's a real problem. So what I read in one of these articles is that there is whatever problems we had 20, 30 years ago were problems of scarcity. Sab kam tha.
Right.
But abhi, the problems we have today and we are going to see in the next coming years, in the next 50, 100 years, are going to be problems of abundance. कि सब इतना ज्यादा है, एक टी-शर्ट लेना है 20 कलर, एक कोर्स करना है 50 ऑप्शन, एक टूल यूज करना है उसमें भी 50 ऑप्शन. So you will basically end up not understanding which one should you do. And so that's when what people will start doing is...
Yeah, so basically can you hear me? So basically making a right choice and making a right decision, I think it will be one of the most important skill. How do you make the decision? How to
and you don't,
which course you choose and everything.
The one which has the most value, how do you find that? You won't understand that कि कौन सा tool, कौन सा t-shirt सबसे अच्छा है, which one will be the best one, which will be the most appropriate one for my value, for the money I'm paying.
But
this is applicable everywhere.
Until unless we try those things, how can we, just by, we can't judge a book by its cover, right? So
definitely,
how can we decide, man? It's a very
definitely, but that's what I'm trying to say, na. That's what I'm trying to say, that when you have to try, when you eventually people will end up trying, people will be like, अरे यार सब लोग यही बोल रहे हैं, करके ही देखते हैं. But then you have limited time. You don't have all day. You have 10 different other things to do in a day. And when you have to learn something, or learn an extra skill, extra language, buy something extra, you have limited time. And in that limited time, how you best utilize that time to find the best knowledge is going to be a very, very, very underrated skill, which people haven't realized now.
Right.
You open your YouTube, you open your Explore on Instagram, and whatever you will find is things you already believe in, things you already know, things what basically are agreeing to your opinions, your ideas, your beliefs. तो आपका growth हो नहीं रहा है. आपको लग रहा है आपका growth हो रहा है because you're consuming stuff. But what these companies are feeding you are the things which you already know and want to see. They will sell you and give you the content which you already believe in. And the true growth never happens that way. True growth happens where ये मेरे ideas है, ये मेरे beliefs है, ये opinions है, मैं 20 साल का हूँ. और जब भी मुझे completely ऐसे ideas और beliefs मिलेंगे जो against है इसके, तभी मैं ऐसी चीजों के I'll come across those things which are completely disconfirming to what I believe in, and that's when I will grow. I'll be like, oh, ये तो पता ही नहीं था. I did not have this evidence. I did not see that. That's when you actually grow. But these companies, they don't have our best ideas in mind. These algorithms, these social media platforms, they only want your attention as much as possible. कैसे पुष्पक को ये Instagram पे मैं 2 घंटा रखूं? वो लोग का aim वो होता है. They don't want you to grow. They just want your attention. And because they want your attention, they will feed you everything which you already believe in. Trust me.
Great, man. This is like completely different perspective of looking at the things. I never thought about this like this.
Yeah, I read about this in the last 1 month in a couple of articles on Medium, and that's when I understood, man. These are called echo chambers. Echo chambers, matlab, what basically it's a bubble. Social media is a bubble in a lot of different ways. Right. Whatever you see on your feed on Instagram, explore khol ke dekho. You will see only those content pieces, videos and profiles which you already like a lot, you believe in.
Right.
That's the same with news as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. I read this article about narrative market fit. जैसे product market fit होता है, I read about narrative market fit. कि whatever media channels they are going to give you stories. जो रोज हम लोग stories देखते हैं, हजार अलग अलग story, अलग अलग topics they are covering. These things are basically here to give us stories which we already believe in. ठीक है, तो they won't see whether I will give him this so इसका growth होगा or he'll come across something new. They'll give you things that okay, Pushpak को क्या, I think he wants to believe that lockdown is going to get over, or he wants to believe that ये corona virus बहुत भयानक है, it's going to completely change everything, because that's वही चल रहा है अभी, सब जगह वही है. So they'll give you the same story. So वो जो narrative है वो मार्केट के साथ कितना फिट होता है, दैट्स हाउ यू रियलाइज दैट मैं वो न्यूज पढूं, वो आर्टिकल पढूं, अगर वो पीस का नैरेटिव के साथ मार्केट फिट जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा है तो मत पढ़ो. It means that it's only here to take your attention and nothing else. Right. It's not going to give you information, it's not going to give you anything new, it's only here to get your attention. And you see every single thing about news you see on WhatsApp, which circulates on social media, every single thing goes with the narrative so well. Lockdown, corona, vaccines, stuff, everything.
Right. So this happens with politics as well, right? Because suppose you are the maybe right wing or the left wing. Suppose you are the left supporter, then you will, and you want to believe in that, and you want to tell people that हाँ भाई यही है. So you will see the things who are towards the left, and if you are the right winger, then you will see
it's about your belief.
About right wings, basically that.
Exactly. That's what I saw in Nawal's podcast with Joe Rogan. He was also he was saying the same thing, that the strongest, the most powerful people in the world today and in the coming years will be the ones who are running the algorithms of these social media platforms.
Right.
Because they have the power to control what information goes inside your head. Every single person in this globe and across the globe in the world. Right. They have the power to change that. They have the power to control the spread of information. We don't realize, but it's going to be the most powerful thing to do. आप क्या पढ़ रहे हो और आपके दिमाग में क्या जा रहा है, उसका आपका belief और आपका opinion वही तय करेगा, right? That's going to decide what you think and how you act. These are the most powerful people in the world.
Shit, man, this is some deep shit.
And plus, yeah, it's going to, it gets me. When I came across that, when I went into it, I read about all this. मुझे भी यही लगा यार, मतलब, it's going to be the most toughest thing यार, कि मेरे पास 6 घंटे फ्री के है एक दिन में या 3 घंटे, वो 3 घंटे में मैं YouTube खोलता हूँ, मेरा 2 घंटा निकल जाएगा, मेरा ग्रोथ किधर होगा?
Right.
I'm not saying I want to grow every single hour or minute in the day, but कुछ तो, there has to be some value in what we do online. If everything is just going to give you shit, things you already know, then how are people going to change and evolve?
Right.
Evolve होने के लिए disconfirming evidence बोलते हैं उसको. Disconfirming evidence चाहिए. What we are getting is confirming evidence. मतलब ये मुझे पता है, और चीजें लाओ जो मुझे वही तय करेगी जो मुझे पता है. हाँ, मतलब उसके साथ it's like a confirmation bias होता है ना. I believe in this. Okay, there are 5 different content pieces. Right. और मैं वही content piece को पढ़ूंगा जो मेरे opinion के साथ match होता है. Getting me? So I agree to that even more. And these platforms, these media houses are going to do the same thing because they want your attention. It's going to be the most underrated skill. इतना टाइम है, इतने टाइम में मैं कैसे ऐसा knowledge ढूंढूं जो breakthrough हो, जो timeless हो, और जो मेरा time waste ना करे in this information overload का world, in this abundance का world, and it's going to be applicable everywhere.
Yeah. So let's talk about your show, Ask the Hustlers. So how did you got into this, man? What's your story?
So this was just a 1-year journey. I started in 2019, mid 2019, you can say, and all of this started because I had this cell in my college, entrepreneurship cell, right. And they had this week where there are different events and different speaker sessions about entrepreneurship. So a lot of people come in and they speak about their journeys and their professions and stuff. So I happened to attend one such speaker session, and where I met a person, an entrepreneur, and he shared his journey about sales, how he's in the sales field in the last 10 years. And basically, to put it very simply and to put it in short, that session really changed everything I looked at, and the way I looked at entrepreneurship, the way I looked at sales. I understood how important sales is, and I always had that ki family business hai, and I want to get into business, but I never thought of it that seriously. I was in the second year, itna socha nahi tha, I was not really serious. So jab ye wo hua, I really, it was very impactful. It was very impactful to me, and I realized the importance of selling, the importance of business, and that's when I decided that I want to learn more. So I want to get connected to people. I understood the power of networking through that session as well. So I started networking with entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs mainly, and I started hitting them up on social media, writing emails to them, and just with my questions, I had some questions in mind about entrepreneurship, or kya books padhna chahiye, ya fir I have this family business and we are going through this problem, how do you solve that? So I say randomly I used to send messages and emails to people, and some of them happened to reply to me. I got connected to a few, and that's when I took a break and I understood that okay, I am talking to entrepreneurs and I think there's a lot to learn. So why not structure this in a way where I am asking the same things I'm asking, but in a way where I can document it and help other people as well, like me, like thousands of other students or people who are young and who are going to get into entrepreneurship or are budding entrepreneurs. So why not start a show where I interview them, where I ask them questions and I document them? So that's how I started with Ask the Hustlers. It was a very fast, very vague decision, to be honest. इतना time नहीं लगाया था, इतना सोचा नहीं था कि नाम क्या रखूंगा, करूंगा कैसे, investment होगा कि नहीं, because it takes some investment and stuff like that. But इतना सोचा नहीं था because I had it was close to me. I had the heart in the right place. I had the right intention. So I was like कि अरे बहुत सोचना नहीं है, start करते हैं. And I always had this habit of DMing people from when I was 16, because at that point of time I had a fashion blog, and for collaborations and stuff with small scale brands, I used to sit in a place for 2 hours and I used to DM brands. मैं Instagram पे brands ढूंढता था, clothing brands जो मुझे collaborate कर सके, ठीक है, because I knew that I am somebody who's got 2K 3K followers only. तो कोई बड़ी brand तो मुझे collaborate करने को opportunity नहीं देगी. So I used to sit down 2 घंटे के लिए Instagram पे ऐसी छोटी brands को ढूंढता था, जैसे बेवकूफ थी तभी, The Soul Store करके थी. So I used to hit them, I used to DM them, I'm doing this, my name is this is my journey and I want to collaborate with you. So that's how I started DMing people. तभी से मैं करता था, जब भी मैं 16 था, 4-5 सालों में, और तभी used to work for me. And when I started with this, I was like, चलो वापस, I'll draft a message, a short template, and I'll send it to entrepreneurs and see how I get responses.
Right.
So I started doing that. On the very first day, जब ये idea आया था, next दिन पे ही मैंने 20 या 30 entrepreneurs को, more than that in fact, message किया था.
सही है.
And some replied, some didn't reply, and that's how I started with Ask the Hustlers. And then I'm done with 14. I don't wish to hurry a lot. मेरा aim ऐसा नहीं था. I think I told you previously as well. My aim is not to hurry and make money out of this.
Right.
I want to do it as a side thing, only as a side hustle, because I love networking with people and the benefits this is giving in terms of my social media presence, in terms of meeting new people like you, in terms of doing this for increasing my online presence, and basically to help people in whatever way I can. Right, I'm not saying that, and all of this, my entire initiative started because I wanted to put myself as not as an expert. Everybody out there is a mentor or an expert. I wanted to document my journey of becoming somebody who's successful. Right? I am just 21, so I don't know. I don't have that kind of knowledge. I don't have that kind of experience which an entrepreneur or a successful person has.
Right.
तो मुझे वो जानना था. So I never portrayed myself as an expert. मुझे सिर्फ यही जर्नी को ऑथेंटिक रखना था, ट्रांसपेरेंट रखना था कि हाँ भाई मैं ये हूँ. I am not an expert. I am just like a learner, like all of you. And as a learner, I'm starting with this show. So yeah, that's how it has been.
Yeah. So actually, I found you on Instagram only. So I was also doing the research and also I found you on Instagram. And the first video I watched, like you shared something about the niche, So when I started the podcast, so I was also thinking about, man, I should have a podcast in a specific niche. But I want to talk to, like, I'm interested in a lot of things. I want to talk about entrepreneurship. I want to talk about relationships, spirituality, psychology, politics, even politics also. And then I watched your video and you shared a video of Gary Vee as well. And then I realized, man, this is like whatever I am, that's what my niche is. So why do I need to? Yeah. So that's what I learned from you, man.
Thanks, man. I whatever I've done on social media, it's all a replication of Gary Vaynerchuk, to be very honest. So I don't follow 10 different people. I don't follow 15
Mm-hmm.
different people and watch their videos. There's only one or two people who I genuinely take out time and follow their content. And
Mm-hmm.
step by step, I've even replicated what Gary says. So even this idea of interviewing people, it somehow came from Gary. And everything which I've done after that, it's completely replication of what Gary is doing. Because, and I'm not shying away from that, but with saying that, I've always been my original self, and I'm trying to be more of myself, right? When I
Right,
started,
right,
I was
right.
kind of doing content like very like Gary's content in my own way, because I thought, my interpretation of his content is good, so I'm explaining what he's trying to say just to my audience. And now every single after 6 months, I realized, I have to be more of myself. मैं काफी कुछ consciously नहीं बोलता था social media पे, because I thought, I don't want to put out so much of my life. But अभी I
Mm-hmm.
realized, मेरा original self बाहर आना चाहिए. ऐसा बहुत कुछ है about Dharam Vora which I have not put out on social media, and
Right.
it still won't mean that I'm sharing my private life or stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
abhi I'm trying to make videos and content. If you'll see in the last 1 month or so, I've made out solo videos where I'm just I'm putting out raw thoughts कि मेरा ये experience था, तभी मेरे दिमाग में ये सोच रहा था मैं, और यही मेरा experience था. So I'm just putting out whatever it was in my mind,
Right.
just how you do in a vlog. So I don't want to explain concepts, or I don't want to give ज्ञान. मेरे साथ
Mm-hmm.
ये हुआ है, ये ऐसे हुआ, और मैंने ये सोचा, ये मेरे दिमाग में आया, yeah, I'm making content on. So it's very relatable. It's giving access to who Dharam Vora is and what he's doing. अब तक मैं वो नहीं कर रहा था. So every single day I'm trying to be more of my original self, because whatever you say, when people say be yourself or be your original self, it's very easy. It's easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
in reality, it is very, very, very tough, and especially in this coming to the same thing in this day and age, in today's date,
Mm-hmm.
it's tough to find yourself. आप
Yeah,
इतने
right.
लोगों को सोशल मीडिया पे देखते हो, आप इतने लोगों के बारे में पढ़ते हो और उनके जर्नी के बारे में देखते हो, यू डोंट रियलाइज व्हाट यू आर.
The self-awareness is very underrated these days, I guess. Like people don't know who really are. The self-awareness. I think if you're self-aware, then a lot of things can, man. Like you can do a lot of things if
Exactly.
you're
And
self-aware.
it takes time to find yourself. It takes time to find yourself, I feel.
I think
Unless you
meditation can help in
do
that, right?
Yeah,
In
it
self.
can. But the best thing is to go out there, to explore, to work.
Right, right.
जब तक वो नहीं करोगे, you won't do 3 or 4 different things. You won't understand what you don't like, what you like, how you are.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, you might think, अरे, I can't make a video. मैंने starting में I can't make a video, or
Right.
I can't do social media, or I can't talk to people, or I can't go out there and network with strangers.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't understand. Trust me on this. It's really so magical and unbelievable that every time you pick things which you are scared of, ऐसे ढूंढते हो आप, कि इससे मुझे बहुत डर लगता है, and everybody honestly सबको पता होता है
Right.
कि हाँ मैं ये नहीं कर सकता, I'm really really scared of that, I'm really nervous. But every time you find these things in yourself and pick them up and do those things intentionally, however tough it is, आप अपने आप को इतना धक्का मारते हो, push करते हो to step out and do that one thing, one single thing at a time. When you do that, you will find that there are different parts about you which will get unlocked in you. आपको पता भी नहीं होगा कि धर्म वोरा में वो था और अभी वो है. और मैं सोच रहा था कि I don't have that, but now they are, because biologically and conceptually this is true. Like whenever you do things you are scared of, or whenever you do different things, you just boldly you go out there and explore. आप अलग-अलग चीजें करते हो, weird चीजें करते हो जो आपको पता भी नहीं है कि करनी चाहिए. Strange होगी वो चीजें. पर जब भी आप ऐसी नई चीजें completely in a different environment, like अभी तक आपने लाइफ में ट्रैक नहीं किया और आज आप ट्रैक कर रहे हो, something like that. अगर आप ऐसा कुछ करते हो, you will find biologically also there are cells and proteins in your body which get unlocked because of that. And then you feel a certain different way about you, and that's when you understand कि okay, धर्म मेरे में ये भी था. So it's very important to not do the same thing again and again and put yourself in very uncomfortable new situations and environments. तो तभी ये होता है.
Right. So about the novel podcast we're talking about. So he talks about like you have one life, right? Why do you need to just stick to one thing and one
Stick
niche?
to one thing.
You can do multiple things,
Honestly.
man. You have one life, right? You can do
Why
whatever
not?
you want. You can try new things. Like just take a window of 5 years or 10 years. Right now, if I'm doing a podcast, I can do it for 10 years. After that, I'll do something else. Or like if you're running one business right now, you can start another business in 10 years or in 15 years.
Why not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you've got
Like we
one
can do
life, and
whatever the fuck we want.
it's
right?
like Yeah, it's like you got time, you got this life, you might not get this life again. Why not explore whatever it has to offer?
Yeah.
Why not explore? And I won't ever believe that one person is only meant to have one talent or one skill which he's good at. It's really shit because
Yeah.
हम लोग को पता भी नहीं होता है कि हम लोग को कितनी सारी चीजें इंटरेस्ट करती है और हम लोग कितनी अलग अलग मल्टीपल चीजों में बेटर भी हो सकते हैं. We are good at that.
Right.
So it's basically a loss for you to not explore. I'm not saying go do 10 things or 7 things. Nobody's saying that, but at least do multiple things, 2, 5 things. At least the things which you're interested in. Like I'll give you one example. I've just like I said, I've always been very fascinated with films and TV series and stuff. And genuinely fascinated, not just by the name of okay, हाँ मैं देखता हूँ and stuff. Everybody watches, but I'm really interested in knowing the back end. So मैं बैठ के time निकाल के I watch the behind the scenes. I want to know how this 3-hour movie was made. I want to know how this 3-minute song was made. Because all of this is storytelling and storytelling excites me. तो मुझे जानना है कि what was going on inside that actor's head when he did that shot. That's why I watch a lot of interviews, talk shows where the actor is speaking about his thought process, about his process or about his method. तो मुझे वो interest करता है. So the back end of things. So that's why I really thought in the last 1 month, itna time tha free. So I was thinking to myself that, yeah, I am genuinely interested in filmmaking. Filmmaking in terms of films. Just films. I don't know what part of films, whether it's acting or whether it's back end, I don't know that. And I'm now interested in storytelling as well. Right? I'm doing that in my content, through my content. I'm reading about that, watching people tell stories. So why not actually explore? And if it's a possibility, why not intern or go out there and work in some aspect of filmmaking? मैं क्यों ना सीखूं? अगर मुझे ऐसा एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रहा है मुंबई में, आई डोंट नो हाउ एंड व्हेन, आई रियली डोंट नो. और मुझे ऐसा भी डर था कि अरे यार एक थॉट आ गया और उस पे यू आर टेकिंग इट सो सीरियसली कि अरे यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट सो यू विल गो एंड वर्क. बट आई वाज लाइक if I don't, I will regret it. I'm not saying I should work on it professionally 5 years, 7 years down the line. वो मुझे नहीं पता. I don't know the plan, but I feel that I should do it. I should do it because I think if I get into the right aspect, मैं देखता हूँ, whether it's cinematography, direction, screenplay, or acting, I don't know that. But if something actually hits me and excites me, why not try it out if it's a possibility?
Right.
और मैं सीरियसली सोचने लगा. अब तक मैंने नहीं सोचा था सीरियसली. एंड अभी भी मेरे को आई हैव दी सेल्फ डाउटिंग क्वेश्चंस लगे जब भी लगता है कि अरे हाँ, तो कोई भी ऐसा कोई थॉट आएगा तो क्या स्विच करेगा क्या? अरे यू विल फील लाइक ओके ये कर लेते वो कर लेते. बट दैट सो आई वाज थिंकिंग अरे यार but I will definitely regret it if I don't do it. So sooner or later, I don't know when and how, I want to explore that. I want to.
Right.
Because everything is storytelling. Yeah, the best in the world are storytellers.
Exactly. Right.
Best in the world are storytellers.
So yesterday I was thinking, yesterday I was thinking about, what should I ask you? And actually it went really, we did free flow and it was amazing. But I wanted to ask you one question that, at Ask the Hustlers. So how do you ask the questions? So how do you ask the right questions so, you can extract the right information maybe?
So honestly, Pushpak, I am still getting better at drafting better questions. Questions which are, so my aim with Ask the Hustlers, I want 2 things to happen. One is access, ki agar if you are the guest, I want people to have access to you, because otherwise there are different factors and reasons where people get scared and I don't have the courage to come up to you and ask. Right? Log ko dar lagta hai. So if the guest is coming in, I want them to be real and मैं access दे रहा हूँ. So I'm going to give my viewers, whatever 30, 50, 100 viewers I have, I want them to have access to that guest first. And the second is as many specific practical insights, things which they can take action on and work on. Even though not every question goes around having actionable insights, but I try to give access in its real form and practical insights. Right. So whatever questions I try to frame are questions which otherwise people can't find about that guest on Google, because it's really easy to find things on Google and so much information about somebody on Google because there's so much online presence people have now. I try to draft questions which are specific and which give out practical actionable insights. And still I really don't feel that I'm doing a very good job at that. But I watch more talk shows and interviews. Like for instance, I watch Rajiv Masan, for instance, and the questions he asks, they are really interesting. They are really different. So I don't know if you have noticed, but if you actually go out there and watch the interviews, they are very, very, very different. Every question is very different and unique, and it dives deeper into a different part of the actors or the guest's brain. So So that's what I try to do. मैं वो सब देखता हूँ, and then you know I can inculcate on drafting better questions. And the second thing is, I have 8 to 10 pieces of questions, 8 to 10 sets of 8 to 10 questions in one set. But I've realized that the best of conversations, the best of insights, and the best answers are only extractable when you ask questions which you haven't prepared.
Right.
So if you ask me a question and I answer, then if you are and this is only possible if you are a good listener.
Exactly. Right.
So usually what happens is, and this is what happened with me also in shooting, you get nervous, right? You are in front of I don't do video interviews. I do in-person interviews, and it's very, very intimidating and to sit beside somebody who's a stranger who's so successful, right? डर लगता है, nervousness आता है कि वो camera है, interview लेना है, you might fumble, you might say the wrong thing. So there's nervousness always, and I am somebody who's extremely shy. So that's what happens, that when they answer, you tend to, you know, get very nervous. When you ask a question and they are answering, you forget, you're just so nervous that you forget what they are saying. You don't pay attention to that and you get lost.
Right.
So if you don't listen to what they are saying genuinely, like truly listen to whatever they are saying, you won't get those follow-up questions, those sub-questions out of that answer. So if you're actually listening in a very natural, in a very free-flowing format where you're just sitting, where you're relaxing, you don't need to be scared. You're genuinely listening to what that person is saying. You will actually, there will be different questions popping up in your mind. Right. And those are the questions which have the best answers. That's what has happened with me, and that's what I've read also. Right, that you should always have room for 3 or 4 or 5 different questions, because you always tend to ask follow-up questions after the answer they gave.
Exactly. So there's a real knowledge is in follow-up questions only. I've heard that.
Follow-up questions, exactly. So you always have to need that. You always have to have that buffer. कि हाँ ठीक है, 8 question है, 7 question है, 5 questions. I'll keep some time for them as well.
But there's this also thing, no, like someone's suppose you have given me the answer, right? And like I can just move to the another question, or I can add my points also. Like, so sometimes I believe that I wanted to add something, but then I think just छोड़ो यार, like
true.
This happens to me.
Happens.
To be honest.
Happens because usually you have like questions lined up, so you'll be like, oh, I don't want to miss out on those. So why not just jump to the next question and continue? Because I think, and sometimes you're not sure whether that question is actually valuable.
Right.
That's follow-up question.
Great. So, is there any message that you have for our audience? Anything?
Again, I am not somebody who can give those messages or those advices and suggestions to anybody. But one thing which I genuinely would want to say is that, and this is out of my experience, not some knowledge or gyan which I am sharing, is that we really need patience, and we don't need to hurry. Right? If you are somebody who's just graduated or who's in college and you are genuinely comparing your timeline, your progress, your success with your friends and other people, then you are definitely doing the wrong thing.
Right.
You should not and cannot eat yourself up and beat yourself up because you've not achieved that marks, you've not passed that examination, or you've not got out there and gotten the job, or you don't have that much money or lifestyle. Because your chapter is completely different from somebody else's chapter, and you can't directly compare when two people aren't on the same page. And to be very honest, this might sound very repetitive and mainstream, but because of the peer pressure, because of what we are seeing on social media, even though I am somebody who puts content on social media, I'm still saying that because of all this, it's so impossible and unavoidable to not give in to the temptations, you know. सबको ऐसा लगता है कि you know मेरे 10 friend है, सब course कर रहे हैं, सब लोग ये कर रहे हैं, and you just start feeling कि हाँ ये short term में मेरे को बहुत gain देगा, मुझे में भी पैसा देगा, मुझे में भी ये देगा, वो देगा, and you just give in to that. And I'm literally telling this out of experience, and I've seen that happening with myself, happening with other people, where हम लोग का सबसे बड़ा problem क्या है पता है, that the age between 17 to 25 is the age which is very lucrative. Which is an age where you can very, very easily get influenced and brainwashed. Trust me.
Exactly.
Right. Whether it's buying into a course, whether it's dropping out of a college, whether it's deciding to start something, बहुत easily हम लोग influence हो जाते हैं in somebody else's talk or in somebody else's conversation or something which somebody else sells to you. So what I'm trying to say is that firstly, we need to have patience. We need to understand that every single every single institution, every single place in the world, सब जगह हर एक youngster के साथ यही होता है that whatever you will see around you is that, you know, there will be a herd, एक group होगा, एक common लोग होंगे जो सब एक ही direction में भाग रहे होंगे. Everybody will be moving into one direction, will be doing the same thing,
Right.
and for you it will be very different and intimidating and scared कि अरे मैंने नहीं किया तो मैं छूट जाऊंगा, मैं पीछे रह जाऊंगा. But you need to still at that point understand that every person's journey, life का process एक custom journey है, unique journey है. Everybody has a different unique life journey, and you starting at 25 or failing at 29 and starting again at 35 is completely unique to you.
Right.
आपके साथ जो होगा वो सिर्फ आपके साथ होगा, and
Yeah.
आप अपने लाइफ progress में ही चलोगे. So you need to have patience. You need to realize the fact that even though there are 1,000 other people doing that, it's completely okay, and to be honest, it's a good thing to not do that.
Exactly.
You know, to stand out. I'm not saying कि हाँ कोई हर एक चीज में stand out करो, but at least in this age, you know, you will see every friend of yours, whoever's watching or listening, you will see every friend or every cousin, every relative doing that same thing, and you will feel like you are left out when you don't do it. But
Right.
ऐसा नहीं है. If you don't
So
do
basically,
that course, if you
yeah,
don't do
after the
that,
college, basically everyone goes for the job. And actually, you know, day before yesterday, I left my job. Okay, I resigned. So I decided to not do it anymore. And I was really scared. And there was only one thing which was keeping me to not leave the job. That was fear. So
Correct.
after giving resignation, I thought, man, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? What the fuck I'm doing, man? I thought this is not a good thing, because it's like job gives you security, right? Kind of a security, right?
Correct.
But so and when you know resign, then you don't have like basically something. But if you see in a different picture, so there's a lot of out there, you know, like you have everything to achieve. There's everything out there, but that, you know, fear factor.
Correct.
And that's what, you know, corporates use, man. Like, and right now in the time
Exactly.
of pandemic, people are getting unemployed, and corporates have all the power that they will pay you less and they will fuck you over. And it's like, yeah, that's what happened, man, to me. But yeah, I think I made a right decision, even though there was a fear.
And these the same thing, you know. Yes, it's the incentive to learn and to grow. ये जो incentive होता है ना हम लोग का ये age में, this is what people leverage. This is what gurus or businesses or corporates for that matter, they leverage this. अरे ये कहीं नहीं जाएगा. He wants to grow. He wants to have that knowledge. He wants to earn. He wants that better respect and better pay.
Right.
So he will be there, and that's what people leverage, and it's very lucrative for us. बहुत influence हो जाते हैं हम लोग. So I'm not saying don't do a job or don't do a course or don't do stuff. What I'm saying is only do it when you genuinely feel you want to do it, not because thousands and thousands of other people are doing it. And always take a step back and see, think it through. The decision you are taking, think it through. एक सही decision को थोड़े महीने लगा लोगे या ज़्यादा time लगाओगे, it's better instead of, you know, taking a decision which you end up failing at or stopping at, or don't do that after 2 months. Right. It's okay to start late, but start with the right thing instead of, you know, starting very early in a hurry and do the wrong thing. I'm not saying trial and error mat karo. Even if you try to think so much and strategize everything, आप fail होगे. But that's a different thing. You will fail and you will learn. It's always to learn. But, you know, having that patience, understanding that life is a custom journey for everybody, that every single person you will see around is going to go into one direction, and you will feel like you will be left out if you don't go into that direction. But have that patience, have that courage to take a step back and start slow. It's okay. सब लोग वो करेंगे, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं that you need to do that. I really feel that I've been talking about this to other people, to my friends. I've been putting this out on LinkedIn as well because I genuinely feel this. Yeah, I'm genuinely feeling this. I believe in the fact that a lot of people get influenced very easily.
Right.
And trust me, guys, there are so many people on social media who will make you believe these things.
Right.
That you need to drop out of college, that colleges are bad or universities are bad. People will sell you stories. People are selling stories. I know thousands and thousands of them. They are making money out of it. वो अपना धंधा करेंगे, वो अपना business करेंगे. They have all the right to. जो लोग इसमें आ जाते हैं, वो are the people who are young.
Exactly.
And you will take a very important, very crucial decision of your life on the basis of somebody else's story or somebody else's business. Right? So decide for yourself and take some time, and trust me. मैं और एक बात बोलूँगा. I am a little old school, traditional that way, but your parents have seen the world like thousands and thousands of times in a better way than you have, and they've come across different kinds of people and different kinds of things in their life. So if you genuinely need to take an advice, you might feel that they don't know shit, right? उनको क्या लग पता है मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ उनके बारे में, आपको वही लगेगा.
Right.
But trust me, they know a lot more than you about the world. And अगर किसमें confusion है, अगर ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैं सही हूँ या गलत हूँ, go and talk to them. And even if you feel they've given you the wrong advice, at least when you till you're 22, 21, listen to them. Listen to what they are saying. Even if you do it blindly, it will be far, far, far better than actually blindly following somebody on social media.
Right.
That's what I think, man.
Great, man. So thank you so much, man, for doing this. It was a really great session, man. You have like given knowledge bombs today. A lot of knowledge bombs.
No problem, man. Even I'm learning as thank you for this opportunity. Firstly, I don't usually get opportunities like this to be a guest on the podcast or something.
Yeah.
I don't even consider myself as a guest, but it's always good to have interactions with like-minded people.
Right.
उसमें मजा आता है, right?
Exactly.
Because you can't talk about everything with everyone, right? वो equation नहीं होता, you can't resonate with everybody. So if you get an opportunity to talk like that, I always love it. So social media technology is giving you these opportunities, so I'm always up for that.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.